Hey Void, how you doing? So, I've reviewed many entries into the VHS series. In fact, I think I've actually reviewed everything except for Viral. I've seen Viral. I didn't dislike it as much as the internet seems to dislike VHS Viral, but I don't really remember it very well, so I just haven't gotten around to rewatching that one. But I digress. So, I have done VHS 1 and 2 and then 94. So, was it 94? I think it was 94. Anyway, this is VHS 85. Okay, so, I like the 80s. I was born in the 80s. And 80s horror is a great genre, so I was going to be holding this one to pretty high standards. And I'm pleased to say that it's fine. And a pretty strong entry, but it does have a few issues here or there. Overall, though, it's a decent little VHS film. If you like VHS films, you'll like this one. I think I actually preferred 94 to 85, but. Alright, so I'm just going to kind of go by segment here, just discuss it that away. So, the overarching narrative is what they call total copy. Now, this is one of the weaker ones for me. I mean, it's not bad, but as the wraparound, it just didn't feel like as cohesive as some of the others. I mean, you got VHS 1 and 2 where it's, creeping around a house watching old VHSs. When one, it's those ones are almost directly linked. One, it's some guys trying to break in and steal some little stuff, and other ones, it's some investigators looking for a missing person. Even Viral had this like a raid on a cult, and it was going through and passing by these VHSs. Those ones, actually, no, was that might have been. Yeah, I think that was Viral because at the same time, there's this weird van driving around. I don't remember that enough. Anyway, point. Moving on. Was 94 had this like kids spying on people, I think. So that was a weaker one, but this one, just because it wasn't as. The first two were kind of terrifying because you never know what's exactly going on, and it feels very voyeuristic, very oppressive. This one felt very lighthearted, which, fine, okay. Essentially, it's about a shape of some scientist having found a shapeshifter. This is like a documentary kind of on this incident, and it kind of feels like you put in this documentary tape and someone taped over segments of it, and that's what the other stories are, which is fine, but it could have done more for me. Now the overall, and so pretty much between every story, we cut back to the scientists experimenting with their shapeshifter, and I will say the ending is pretty good, but overall it's interesting, but as the broken up wraparound, it didn't really work as well for me. Then we get into No Wake, which is essentially a bunch of friends going out, having fun, and then they get picked off by a sniper. Nah, it's not as VHS as it could be, so turns out they're swimming where they shouldn't have been swimming, and they come back to life and can't actually die, despite their horrible wounds. So, they decide to go out and trek out for revenge. The segment itself is interesting, but it doesn't really. It feels incomplete. But there's a reason for that, so I don't judge this one too harshly on that. It was interesting. And the characters were relatively likable. And they do a good job kind of foreshadowing with seeing, like, they see like a dead animal, and then it seems to just get up and leave, so. Next one, God of Death. I did like God of Death. So essentially, it's about this earthquake that happens where we're at this Mexican news crew doing their TV segment, and then also this happens as they try to get out of the building as things are falling apart, and then some sort of Aztec god is essentially rising and demanding supplicants. I liked it, but I can't help but draw the similarities to Ratma. I really liked the Ratma segment back in, I think that was 94. They all run together after a while. Anyway, so hear me out. News crew, news crew. Then one's going underground, one has the building collapsing on them, so it's kind of the same trying to escape things. Then cult involved. Then cult seemed to be rising in either case. Then lady reporter ends up turning on things and becoming a supplicant. A lot of similarities between Ratma and God of Death. I mean, it's interesting. And it's definitely one of the best segments here, but because of that, I couldn't help comparing it. Next segment is just weird, which is Technogod. Essentially, it's this VR software. They're doing an investigation to find a essential god of technology inside the virtual reality and talking about it mythology and exposing it as a myth. It's like this theatrical performance. But then something, goes wrong, and maybe an entity does exist. It's weird and surreal, but it just felt odd more than anything. Ambrosia, the next one, is a very strong segment, because this is actually the follow-up to No Wake. So, but we don't realize that at first. Essentially, this is them celebrating this a special occasion for their teenage daughter, and we find out what that occasion is that she just did a bunch of murders. So essentially, it was she has to that's like her rite of passage, by murdering 7 people. It's like kind of a thing. You get your 7. So that's kind of, we revealed that first segment was her doing this. However, well, remember those people are still alive, and not only that, they essentially managed to spike this place with a bunch of water from there. So, and then a police raid happens. It's a gunfight, and most of them are trying to fight it up, and then will try to pop themselves before being taken. Well, oops. So this one segment is kind of fun. I think it was actually more the main girl that got. Actually, it's not the whole family. It was just the main girl who got dosed with the water, as she was the one who killed them. So now she's being taken alive by the police. Something they were sworn never to be. No. Then Dream Kill, which is a fascinating segment. I did like this one. It's about pretty much someone essentially who dreams murders as or before they're happening. Or at least as they are happening, I think. And essentially, wait, no, it's before. So he dreams them, and then they get imprinted on a VHS. So essentially, he's kind of psychic, but his dreams get recorded, so he's able to send some tapes in. And it's pretty interesting, kind of what's that one. I'm not going to spoil that one too much. So overall, most of the segments are good. One of them's a little weird, and then one of the stronger ones felt a little bit too close to one of the ones that they did before, but actually, I might be forgetting a VHS film because this one says it's like the 6th installment. So it's like, I'm trying to see if I forgot one here because maybe something's right there. Oh, I guess Siren technically is, they're counting Siren maybe. Oh, it's 99, not 90, not 94. Then they did 99. So, okay, that's one of those ones that I think that's where I'm getting kind of things confused. Okay. So there's 99 and 94. I really should just do some more research beforehand. Okay. But, train of thoughts gone. I guess I have to give this a MacGuffin rating. This one, I'll give it a 7. It's a strong entry into the VHS series. It's not the original two, and I did really like, was it 99 or 94? Like I said, having problems telling them apart at this point, so it was 99 I actually really liked. Okay. Anyway, should be all on that one. See you guys soon.